Hi everyone, it's Justin here at Voices for Voices. Thank you very much for joining us, whether you're watching, listening here in the United States or abroad. Thank you very much. It's because of you we have a show. If you can give us a big thumbs up, like, follow, subscribe, share, repost, reshare, and even reach into your mobile device and let maybe 25 or 50 of your contacts no, share the Voices for Voices podcast with them. We greatly appreciate that on our journey to reach and help at least 3 billion people over the course of my lifetime and beyond. Again, thank you for being with us on this particular episode. We're going to talk a little bit about loss. Um, Loss can mean a lot of definitions. Um, I'm not necessarily talking about the loss of, in this particular episode, I'm not necessarily talking about having a loss where someone passes away, where that is very important to grieve, to never forget, and just be a human being with emotions. What I'd like to talk about today is the loss or losses that we may encounter along the way of our story, of our being, of what we believe our it's not our will to be done, it's thy will be done, in my opinion. And so along the way, we find ourselves in a lot of different a lot of different positions, a lot of different states of mind. And I'm very specifically talking about those of us who are are doing out of the box work. And with out of the box work, generally, there's these seasons of highs and lows, depending on the season, right? If you're doing really well, then we're at a peak. If we're in the middle of the next season, the next thing or things, it can feel like we are in that valley. And are we ever going to be able to get out? Well, nothing is given, at least to me. Nothing's given. And so we have to, I'd say early on in our entrepreneurial mindset, we have to almost be ready for the loss. So the loss of friends or members of the family, or just like, that's just, that's crazy. That's never gonna happen. And I think about the Simple Plan song called Iconic. I'm not here boasting, saying that I am iconic, that I'm an icon. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is in the song, it talks about having out of the box ideas, talks about people not always understanding what we're working on, what we're doing, that sometimes, well, for me, a lot of the times, it's like, oh yeah, that's never gonna happen. That'll never happen. You're making it up. It's AI. It's everything except, wow, I really hope this succeeds. Right? I mean, if you're in the same family and friends, you know, you and I, we want people to be on our side. And while that's what we want, and that song Iconic talks about having, these dreams of wanting to succeed and wanting to help or whatever our dreams are in the face of adversity, they can come very close to us. See, some of us, I'll include myself, we think adversity, only comes from, that outside world, not friends or family or that. So when it does come to fruition, when and if it comes to fruition, then it's like, okay, been working on this for year and a half, 2 years, and called every name in the book, lazy, you name it. And this is for those of you out there like me who are kind of looked at like, mm, that's never gonna happen. You're never gonna do that. Why would they include you in that? Why? What have you done? You don't know those people. And so what do we have to do? We have to be strong, strong mentally and physically, but a majority of it's mental. And that's why I think I spend so much time focusing on my mental health because that's where a lot of the battles they actually happen inside our mind of why they say that, why didn't they say this, and why did they do this and not do that, or why did they do that and not this, and what if. I've been there, done that, and I'm sure there's going to be times in the future I'm going to be in that same boat. But I'm trying to just talk through these feelings, these feelings of alienation from people that we love. As I said earlier, well, nothing's given. And so when opportunities arise, we can either just walk away and say, oh no, that's never going to amount to anything. Or the opposite. and say to ourselves, you know what? I don't know how this fits in the mold, how this fits in the future, but I'm gonna try it. And those are the people that I'm talking to and talking about here with myself. It sucks to again, it sucks to have people we love kind of look at us with that like, I don't think so. That's not gonna happen. It hurts feelings, hurts my feelings. If somebody in my circle says, Justin, I think I want to do this, or what have you been working on? I think we shouldn't be so quick to judgment, so quick to judgment. That's that gossip, right? Oh, he thinks he's going to do this, and that's never going to happen. Or she says she's talking to this person that there's no way that person would ever talk to them. And again, for the most part, a lot of the people that are in the gossip have no clue what it's taken, what it will take, and what if he's talking to them? What if there is something coming up? What if there's a tour? See, those are the things that I'm talking about for what ifs. We can what if anything. Somebody came to me and said, Joseph, I'm working on this. And I'll say, well, what if this actually happens? That'd be pretty sweet. We're here to root you on. There's going to be times of a dry desert where there's no rain to be seen for days and months and maybe years. And then once that rain starts and positive things begin manifesting, call it into the ether, into society. Then we get called vindictive and just trying to put somebody down and you get the drift. I mean, how are we supposed to act? How are not even act? How are we supposed to be when for days, weeks, months, sometimes years, we've been put down? Oh, he's making these stupid videos. Oh, really? Okay. There's no way this person would ever talk to you. Why would they? Who are you? It's like, I haven't changed. I found what I'm passionate about. How would you like it if somebody did that to you and said, oh, yeah, he's out of his mind or she's out of control. Wouldn't feel good, would it? You want somebody in your corner, and you shouldn't have to look into that outside world to finally find somebody for your corner. There will be people outside that are in your corner, in my corner. Again, however, I don't know what it is. I don't know why it is. I just don't know. And it just sucks. Sucks to have, you know, people you love going, oh yeah, he's full of it. He's lazy. He just sits on the chair, sits on the couch, makes these stupid videos, never gonna amount to anything. So I say, okay, that's your stance on this, what we're doing? Well, when and if things, experiences, events, blah, blah, blah. When, if these things, experiences actually play themselves out, then we get faced with another question. Well, do we include people? The very people that have been putting us down for years or weeks or months. That's really what it comes down to. Because I've been told everything, it's all, things are, this is AI, it's never going to happen, wasting your time, need to do something else. Because it's not happening right this very second. How about if and when it does happen this very second? It's called jumping on the bandwagon. I learned a lot about that in sports, or like the New York Yankees or Boston Red Sox or whatever baseball team. Doesn't matter. I'm just using those because the Dodgers, because they're, the some of the larger fan bases. It's like, well, people are just jumping on the bandwagon because they're doing good this year. They're gonna make the playoffs. They're gonna make the World Series. They're gonna win the World Series. So it's when events are already happening, and then people make a decision. Oh yeah, I really love the Yankees. I love the Dodgers. Same thing could be said for what I'm going through, what you may be going through, somebody you know may be going through. Oh yeah, things are Okay, yeah. Include me in it. Include me in it. Or why wouldn't you include certain certain people? I don't know. That's the $1 trillion question. I don't know what to do. I don't. I don't know. There's no manual. So these are the types of questions that we're faced with. These are the questions. These are the thoughts that play out in our mind every day and every night. And so instead of maybe enjoying the moment goes so fast that we don't even have a chance to enjoy it because we've been so caught up with our minds and wanting to please everybody. So I don't know how things will turn out. I don't know anybody that does except God and Jesus. I'm a believer. You don't have to be a believer to be part of the Voices for Voices family. But just know there's at least one person that believes in you. That is you. Again, an idea may go viral the first time or the 500th time or never at all. I just don't want to be in my later years thinking, man, I wish I would at least tried this. People talk about being on their deathbed and some people having regrets. Like, oh, I wish I would have traveled more. We didn't have a lot of money. We had enough, but the older I got, the less I wanted to go. I wish I would have had that show. I wish I would have went to that event. I wish I would have met that person. I wish I would have talked to that person. Just remember, anything worth anything worth it, positive outcome, it takes work. And it's going to take a lot of people that are naysayers. Doesn't mean I don't still love the people, but how do we listen? Somebody that's never or very briefly tried the entrepreneurial way. It's just like, why would we take money advice from somebody who's broke? Why would we take entrepreneurial advice from somebody that's never or just had a brief stint of being an entrepreneur. We wouldn't, would we? We would turn to them in other cases when it's their expertise, but just that human instinct of, no, that's never going to happen. Okay, that's okay. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Remember, I talked about the First Amendment so much. It's okay. If others, whoever they may be, they start whispering when you come in the room, or they talk behind your back, or they sit outside instead of coming in the house. Because heaven forbid they'd have to actually say hi to me. Because I'm just, such a toxic person. Yeah. Okay. But just remember, we all have brains. We can forgive, but we never forget. I haven't made all the best decisions as a human that I should have made over all the years, but I've been willing to talk about them and admit to them. Other people, they wouldn't as much as go as far as say that they've ever made a mistake. So I'm talking about right here, right now, what's happening, what's going on, what may be going on at a point in the future. And again, nobody's promised another day, another hour, another minute, another second. So I'd rather look at things optimistically, knowing that, than not. That that's how I like to look at things. I'm no expert on mental health. I'm an expert on my mental health, on what I've been diagnosed with and medication and that. So I can only share my experiences. Getting help is not the end of the road. You have to you have to ask for help every once in a while. Every single one of us. We do. Thank you very much for tuning in to this episode of the show, the podcast. You can give us thumbs up, like, follow, subscribe, share, reshare, repost, reach in to your mobile device and share the Voices for Voices podcast with 25, 50, 100 of your friends, connections. We greatly appreciate that. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening, wherever you're at in the world. We're very appreciative of you and just taking 1 second of your time to watch or listen to our shows. Over 515. There's no words to explain it. We just keep going. We keep sharing. We keep helping, trying to help. So until next time, please be a voice for you or somebody in need, and let us all celebrate the voices of everybody all across the world. We'll see you next time. Bye bye.